This is a practice for lower back mobility. So if you have muscle tension causing you pain and discomfort and niggles around the lower back or the pelvis, you're just going to need a strap for this practice. So you can use a solid strap like a yoga strap, or a good strong resistance band, or even a long towel or a dog lead. So this is something solid. Place that to the side for the minute, and we're going to start off lying on our back. Lying on your back with your knees bent, we're going to start the practice by bringing some awareness to our breathing pattern, which can really help reduce muscle tension around the lower back. So place one hand on your breastbone, on your sternum, and one hand just above your belly button. Let the arms relax onto the ground. And then as you breathe in through your nose and send your breath down deep towards the lower lungs or towards the belly button. And as you breathe out, just notice the belly soften and fall back towards the mat. We're going to go for 6 breaths here, breathing in through the nose, feeling the belly rise, and then breathing out through the nose or the mouth, feeling the belly fall. Every time you breathe out, you can think about your lower back or your spine just resting and being supported by the ground. Now we're going to keep that nice deep breathing pattern going as we do the next one. Bring your hands to your pelvis. Think about all your weight through the center of your pelvis, so through the sacrum bone. And then as we inhale, you're going to rock your pelvis towards your feet. You'll feel your lower back arch away from the mat. And as you breathe out, we're going to rock the pelvis towards your chest, and you'll feel the lower back flatten into the mat. You're going to keep doing this in sync with your breath. We're going to go for 10 through the center. And you're trying to do this movement with as little effort as possible, so you can almost imagine your pelvis like a beach ball, and it is just rolling forward towards your heels, and then it's rolling back towards your chest. Last 3 in sync with your breath. And you're just moving through a pain-free range. So don't force your back down towards the floor if it feels uncomfortable. Then usually when we have discomfort in our back, it's a little bit one-sided, more often than not. So we're going to shift our weight to the right butt cheek. So you're not doing a big twist. Just feel all your weight go into that right bum cheek. So that right side's heavy. And as you inhale, you're going to rock towards your right heel. And exhale as you rock towards the right lower rib cage. So it's that same rocking movement in sync with your breath, but you're just rocking on that right side of the pelvis. And you're going for 10 on this right side. And just notice what it feels like, because often when we have pain or discomfort, our left side will feel different to our right. So you're inhaling to rock towards the right heel, exhaling to rock towards the right side of your rib cage, chest. And you can have your hands on your pelvis, so you just feel that rocking motion towards the chest and rocking towards the feet. And last 3 in sync with your breath. And if your breathing pattern gets a little bit mixed up, if you find yourself inhaling as you flatten and exhaling as you roll towards your heels, that's okay. It's just that it's really important that you're not holding your breath or bracing. So you're letting the muscles around your abdomen and pelvis relax. Shift your weight to the left side of your pelvis. Feel all your weight down through that left butt cheek, that left back of your hip. And as you inhale, rock towards your left heel. And as you exhale, rock towards the left chest, left side of the chest. And again, you're going for 10 on this side in sync with your breath. So breathing in as you rock towards your heels, and breathing out as you rock towards your chest. And if you feel yourself prefer to breathe in the opposite pattern, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just want you moving in sync with your breath. And again, it's with as little effort as possible, pelvis rocking towards the heel, pelvis rocking back towards the chest. Last 3. And you might notice by now if there is a difference between your left and right side. So does one move freer? Does one have a little bit of discomfort attached to the movement? If so, just make the movement smaller on that uncomfortable side until it becomes pain-free. Then bring your weight back to the center, give your hips and pelvis a little bit of a wiggle, and reach for your strap that you have left to the side. So I'm using a resistance band. You do not need a resistance band. So a dog lead or a towel will work perfectly, or a skipping rope. We're going to do a little bit of sciatic nerve mobility. Your other leg is going to stay bent, and pop your strap around your right foot. Super simple to start with. Bring your right knee into your chest and then straighten the leg out. This might look a little bit different for everyone. So if you're real tight, you might be straightening that leg out and it might be a bit lower to the floor, and that's fine. If you're quite flexible and this is an easy one for you, you can straighten that leg up towards the ceiling a little bit more. You're just going for 6 of these, so 3 more. And you shouldn't feel a big, strong stretch with these. We're just starting to mobilize through your sciatic nerve that runs from your lower back all the way down into your foot. Then keep the knees straight, and we're going to move through the ankle. So you're going to point the foot away and then pull the foot down towards your body. You can use the strap to assist in that pull a little. And again, you're going to have your leg as high up as it allows. If you see your knee is bent, you just need to lower the leg a little bit more. And again, you're just going for 6. You should feel a stretch through the back of the knee, back of the thigh, as you pull your foot down towards your body. And then lastly, for this sciatic nerve, we're going to mobilize through the hip joint. So if you're quite flexible, I would recommend straightening out the other leg slightly so you have room to move across. You're going to hold on to your strap, and you're going to let your legs sway across your body. A nice image I like to use is imagine drawing a smiley face with your heel. So you're going to go up and across, and then you're going to go down, up and across. You'll feel the increased stretch through your sciatic nerve as your leg moves across your body, and especially as it goes up. And again, everyone might look different doing this, and we're just going for 6. So maybe you're drawing a really small smiley face and the leg is a little bit lower to the floor, or maybe your leg is up high and you're drawing a big smiley face. You should just feel the stretch through the back of your leg. Cool, then take that foot out of the strap and you're going to pop your other foot into the strap. And again, if you have some discomfort, often we find that one side of our body is a lot tighter than the other. We're a little bit imbalanced. Starting off super simple with 6, bringing your knee into your chest and then straightening it away. This one should be quite gentle. If this feels very tight, take it easy on the next 2. Or you can just keep doing this one. On your last one, straighten it out. Make sure the knee is straight. Your leg is wherever it is comfortable for you. You're going to point your foot away and then pull the foot down towards your body. You can use your nice solid strap or skipping rope to aid pulling the foot down. And again, you're just going for 6, so there's 3 more. As you pull the foot down, notice the stretch through the back of the calf, knee or thigh. If you feel discomfort in your lower back doing this, you need to lower your leg more, or you need to just stick with that first easy exercise that we did, bringing the knee into the chest. Then keeping the foot towards your body, your knee straight. If you're quite flexible, straighten out the other leg a little bit to give you some more space. We're going to move from the hip. So imagine drawing that smiley face. So you're going up and across, and then you're going down, up and across the body, and this is where you should feel the stretch. And again, we are just going for 6 of these. So you just have about 3 more left. And again, listen to your body. You should only feel the stretch through the back of the leg. If you feel discomfort in your back, you need to make this movement a lot smaller. So a smaller smiley face, or the leg needs to be lower to the ground. Last one. Pop your foot out of the strap, and we've got one last mobility exercise, lying on our backs. We're going to do a little pretzel stretch. So you're going to keep your left foot on the ground, and you're going to pop your right shin on your left thigh. And then we're going to get our hands and hug the left thigh into our chest. Your left foot can be left floppy and chilled. And here you're going to focus back on your breathing again. So as you breathe in, feel your breath go down deep into your lower lungs towards your belly button, and allow the belly to expand. And as you breathe out, maybe you tug that left thigh in a little bit closer towards you. And you're here for 2 more breaths, so about 5 breath cycles in total. Every time you breathe out, you can think about your neck, shoulders, upper back just melting and resting into the mat. And then swap it over to the other leg for another 5 to 6 breaths. So put your left shin on your right thigh and wrap your hands around the back of your right thigh. Let your right leg go floppy. And you're here for 5 breath cycles, breathing in through your nose, down deep towards the belly, and then breathing out through your nose or your mouth. And on your breath out, you can either focus on just letting the body relax and rest into the mat or the ground beneath you. Or if you want more of a stretch on your breath out, you can focus on pulling that right thigh in towards your chest. And then unravel the legs. And for the next little bit of our mobility practice, we're going to come on to all 4s. So we're going to do 3 movements, and we're going to flow through them a few times. So that just means we're going to be repeating them. So you're going to start off with your knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. And as you breathe in, you're going to let your tailbone lift up towards the ceiling, your belly drop, and your gaze look straight ahead. As you breathe out, feel your tailbone reach behind you and then eventually tuck down towards the floor. And you're going to arch your spine up towards the ceiling. Your head drops. So inhale, lift the tailbone, belly drops, gaze looks forward. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone, arch your spine up towards the ceiling, head drops. Just 1 more like that. Then we're going to tuck our toes underneath, and we're going to think about pressing through our hands as we press our hips up and back. Coming into a downward facing dog, feeling the stretch through the back of the hamstrings and the calf muscles and the legs. And I want you to allow your tailbone to stick up so that your lower back can maintain that nice natural curve. It's not rounded and flattened. And you're here for 3 breaths. So you're breathing in through your nose, down deep into your belly. And as you breathe out, just feel your hands and your feet grounded into the mat. So you've got a nice stable base. So you're trying to let your body relax with that stable base. And then bringing the knees to the ground a bit wider. So going out as wide as the mat. Big toes together, and press your hips back towards your heels, resting your forehead on the ground. And here you're focusing on breathing into the back of the rib cage. So you're going to breathe in and think about this area around the back of the rib cage expanding and opening up. And as you breathe out, allow your body and your head to just rest into the mat. You've got 3 breaths in this position. Then coming back into all fours, we're going to go through that flow again. So 3 breaths with each of the moves. So inhaling as we lift the head and the tail, and exhaling as we round our spine up towards the ceiling. And going for 2 more in sync with your breath. Tucking the toes underneath, pressing through the hands as we lift the hips up and back. Our tailbone is sticking up to keep that curve in our back. Breathing in through the nose, deep into the belly. And then breathing out, letting our body kind of rest into the hands and the feet. 2 more breath cycles here. Then lowering the knees nice and wide on the mat, big toes together, and press your hips back towards your heels. Rest your forehead down on your mat. And 3 breaths here. Breathing down deep into the bottom of the lungs, and think about the back of the lungs expanding in this pose, almost like 2 balloons. Coming back onto all fours for your last round. Inhaling as you lift the head and the chest, and exhaling as you round. And you're going for 2 more of these in sync with your breath. Tucking the toes underneath, pressing actively through the hands as the hips move up and back. This time you can straighten out the knees a little bit more if it feels good, and allow the heels to get a little bit heavier towards the ground. If that's too much for you, keep the knees bent. 3 breaths here. Breathing in, down deep into the bottom of the lungs, rib cage. And breathing out, feeling the support of your hands and feet, allowing your spine to relax. Bringing your knees wide, big toes together. Last time down into your child's pose. Rest your forehead on the ground. And 3 breaths here, focusing on breathing down deep into the bottom of the lungs, especially the back of the lungs in this pose. Last breath here. Then coming up into all fours, we're going to bring our right foot forward, and our left knee is going to stay under our left hip. And we're going to come into this nice low lunge position. When we're here, we're going to try and stretch or just move our hip flexor muscles that go from our thigh up to our lower back. So you're going to think about reaching your tailbone down towards the floor. You can put your hand on the back of your pelvis and just feel your tailbone or your pelvis tuck or point down towards the ground. Then bring your hands to your rib cage. So often when we're tight in our lower back, our rib cage will flare out at the bottom. Think about your lower ribs hugging in, connecting in. And then you should start to feel a little bit of a stretch through the front of the left hip. As you inhale with a nice bent arm, start and then reach the arm up nice and straight and strong towards the ceiling. And then if that feels good, you can think about pulling that thumb back towards the wall behind you, but keep the ribs connected in. And then when we're here, we can reach up and over to the right side slightly. You can have your right hand on your leg to help with balance, or you can place your right hand on the right side of your rib cage. And you can think about breathing into that right or that left lung, so your hands is on the left side. And every time you breathe out, maybe you side bend a little bit more, maybe you pull the thumb back. And every time you breathe in, you can think about actively reaching through that arm. So just 1 more breath here. Then bringing that hand back to the ground, both hands on the ground, come into all fours, and then bring your left leg to the front. Again, you've got your right knee under your right hip. You're going to actively reach your tailbone down towards the floor. Bring your hands to your lower ribs so you can feel where they are, and think about hugging the front ribs in. The left hand rests on that left front leg, and then reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. You should start to feel a stretch through the front of the right hip already. Keep the ribs hugged in, tailbone reaching down. And then actively reach through that right arm as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you can think about pulling the right thumb back behind you a little bit, or stretching over to the left. So whichever suits you better. If it's sore to tilt to the left, just pull the thumb back. And you've got 3 more breaths here. Every time you breathe in, reaching with the right fingertips, and every time you breathe out, moving into the stretch a little bit more. Then bring your hands back to the earth. Last one we're going to do in a seated position. So if you can sit with your bum on your heels, or else you can sit in a chair if that's not comfortable. We're going to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Our left fingertips are on the floor to help us balance. And we're going to think about reaching up towards the ceiling and over to the left. You can even reach forward a little bit to get the stretch into the muscles on the right side of our lower back. And here you're taking 3 breaths. So you're breathing in through your nose, down deep. You can almost think about breathing into that right side of your lower back. Lower the right arm, and same thing on the other side. So right fingertips keep us nice and supported. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling, and then over to the right. Reaching forward a little bit to get the stretch into the left lower back. And again, thinking about breathing down deep into that left lower lung, left side of the rib cage. Bring your left hand down, and you're all done. That's your lower back mobility flow completed.